Hey everyone, my name is Jake and welcome to the June 2026 development update. We have a lot of new features, tools, and hacks in the works right now, and we want to give you a preview of what to expect in the coming months. But before we talk about what's next, I think it's important to highlight what we did in the last few months. We are incredibly happy with how the launch of Lucas' Simpsons Hit and Run Mod Launcher 1.27 turned out. This one was a long time in the making, and seeing it land the way it did has been genuinely rewarding for the whole team. We couldn't be prouder of what we shipped or the work that went into it. Thank you to everyone who's played, given feedback, built mods, or just stuck around long enough to see it happen. The response from the community has reminded us exactly why we keep at this. We love this game, this community, and building tools that let people create cool stuff for it. Thank you, and we really hope this video gives you the confidence that we will continue to deliver. So now, let's talk about why you're actually watching this video. You want to know what's coming next, and we want to show you exactly what we're working on. Please note that everything we're about to show you is a work in progress. Things may change completely from what we show you in this video, and we want your feedback. Please leave any and all ideas, suggestions, or comments down below or on our Discord. We'll be using those to gauge how we continue development with all the features we're about to show you.
Shut up and get to the point!
Okay, here we go. Finding a server to play on has always been one of the biggest pain points for multiplayer. In the next major version of the launcher, we're fixing that with the built-in server browser. This is a huge quality of life win for SHAR, and honestly we're really excited about this one. You'll be able to see every server that's currently online and jump in with a double click. No more hunting down IP addresses, and right from the launcher you'll also be able to see who's currently online, how many players are on a given server, and more information that the server provides, such as rules or game modes. Next up was something we're really excited about, modern input support. This one is replacing two existing hacks, X input and rebindable menu inputs, and it's a big deal. Under the hood, we've switched to an SDL3 backend, which means modern controllers just work. Plugging in a PlayStation DualSense? No problem. And it's not just about getting them to function. The game will now show the right button glyphs for whatever controller you're using. DualSense, Xbox, Switch Pro, Steam Deck, Ouya, Stadia. If you can think of the controller, we're working on making sure it's covered. It also opens the door for other hacks to do some pretty cool things. For example, if you're playing with a DualSense, the light bar can actually flash when a hit and run is active. And it's not just controller players who benefit here. Modern input support also brings glyph support to keyboard and mouse, so no matter how you're playing, the game speaks your language. Modern input support also addresses some of the gripes that people have had with rebindable menu inputs. For example, instead of selecting your buttons from a combo list, you now just tap it on your controller and it automatically gets recognized using the same keybind system that we implemented. And speaking of keybinds, we've added full controller support there too. Since controllers have a limited number of buttons, we've also introduced chord support. That means you can bind actions to combinations, like left bumper plus D-pad down, giving you a lot more flexibility without running out of buttons. We are committed to supporting as many controllers as we possibly can with this one, and we think it's going to make a real difference for a lot of players. We'll be iterating on this process for a little bit, and we look forward to sharing more with you. We're committed to making sure that this system works well when it comes out, as it will be replacing two fundamental hacks. We're also trying to make sure that it's not affecting our speedrunning friends. Next up, I want to pass it over to Josh to talk about some advancements coming to missions in an upcoming update.
Thanks, Jake. A while back, Addy found that the keep barrel condition, which jumps you back a set number of stages when failed, could be used with negative numbers to jump forward stages. Recently, Kenny, using this along with custom trigger actions, made a proof of concept version of Petty Theft Homer with branching paths. The concept was cool and showed that the game somewhat supported being able to arbitrarily jump stages, and that being able to do so opened the door for some interesting gameplay aspects. I wanted to take this vanilla capability and make it far more streamlined. To do so, I added a couple of additional script functionality commands. The keep barrel system used a number parameter to set how many stages to jump, which wasn't the most user-friendly. Set stage name is the backbone of the whole stage jumping system and does exactly what it says. The following commands reference a stage by its name. With branching paths being one of the main focuses of this system, I imagined there would be plenty of instances where the next stage in the MFK is not the next stage you would want to activate. Set next stage sets which stage will be activated when the current stage's objective is completed. Additionally, for branching paths, a method was needed to have multiple ways of progressing a stage. Set cons jump to stage can be added to any condition, and upon failing that condition will jump you to the named stage instead of failing the mission. With this now non-linear progression of stages, some bugs have cropped up that need fixing. The first one I noticed was that the timer objective does not reset when the stage initializes, resulting in the stage insta-completing the second time you reach it. There's also some other objectives with such issues, along with vehicle AI, that I'm currently working on. I hope this gets your creativity going with ideas of what you can do with it, and that you're looking forward to its release.
Thanks, Josh. We really look forward to seeing what you make with this, and we can't wait to show you more. Now, let's transition into a new hack that we're working on. Inside SHAR's multiplayer hack, there's always been a full-screen map tucked away. Similar to what we did with the analog speedometer, we're pulling that out and turning it into its own standalone hack that you can use across the entire game. And while we're at it, we went a little further than just moving it around. We added a ton of new customization options, controller support, and the ability to show a lot more on the map. Things like collector cards, wasps, and other point of interest you actually want to attract during a run. Whether a completionist, a modder, or just someone who's trying to find the last thing you're missing, the map is going to be a lot more useful. The map now has a transparent background, so you can still see the world behind it. It also pauses the game when you open it. That's on by default, but you can turn it off if you'd prefer. You can zoom in with the mouse wheel and pan around by clicking and dragging. If you'd rather use a keybind or a joystick, you can do that too. We want to make sure that this works however you want to use it. You'll also notice a lot of new icons on the map. And yeah, some of them might look a little mysterious right now. Those are placeholders for things that are still coming. If you know the game well enough, you might be able to figure out what they represent.
Well, this is great. We're getting the inside scoop here, fellas.
That's right, we're working on a first-person hack for The Simpsons Hit and Run. You'll be able to play from start to finish in first person if you'd like, or you can toggle between anytime. This will let you explore Springfield in new ways, and it will offer new challenge runs that have not been possible in the past. The first-person camera hack is still in its infancy. There's a lot to do to make it less buggy and more functional. But we're looking forward to seeing how you play with it and what new ideas you can create from it. Maybe you make a first-person horror mod. Hacks like this show that we can make modding The Simpsons Hit and Run a sandbox for your imagination. Once the hack is close to completion, we'll do a deep dive on how it works, what you can do with it, and how you can invoke it in your own mods. Now I'm going to pass this back to Josh and Lauren to discuss their libraries that they've been writing to interface with the game's files.
Despite the mod launcher being written in C++ and mods themselves being developed in Lua, I am primarily a .NET developer. With this, I've been working on two separate .NET libraries that should be useful to those creating Simpsons Hit and Run based tools. They are SHAR Memory and NetP3DLib. SHAR Memory is used to interact with the game through memory read and writes. While this does have some limitations due to not interacting with the game's main thread, it does allow for third-party applications to interface with the game. One project making good use of this is the Archipelago project by Caesius. This uses SHAR memory in two ways. Firstly, reading the game's memory to track progress and forwarding that to Archipelago, and secondly, writing memory in order to trigger unlocks received from Archipelago. As for NetP3DLib, this is a library used to interact with P3D files directly. My primary use case for this is to create an alternative to Lucas's P3D editor. Named Pure 3D Data Viewer, it was originally created in order to view chunk data that was not known in Lucas's P3D editor. Since its inception, it has expanded to become a full Pure 3D data editor as well. While there is no 3D modeling capabilities, it has the full Pure 3D chunk range that is used by Simpsons Hit and Run. This means that every chunk property has its name and known values linked to it. While version 1 of this tool has not been officially released, you can download the development build from the GitHub.
In addition to Josh's .NET libraries for working with SHAR, I have also been developing PyP3DLib. This library is essentially a Python version of NetP3DLib. Given the ubiquity and simplicity of Python, this has many applications, such as building new, cross-platform SHAR modding tools, like this brand new, work-in-progress map data viewer that runs natively on Windows and Linux. More importantly, however, is the original motivation for creating this library, Blender extensions. On that note, next up, I'd like to talk about the current situation regarding getting SHAR assets in and out of Blender, far and away the most popular tool for 3D artists within this community and probably in general. To put it bluntly, the status quo right now is a clunky disaster. This stems from a few key issues. All current Blender add-ons made by us or otherwise are unmaintained and are partially or completely broken in the latest versions of Blender. Even when they do work, they are all unnecessarily reliant on one or more intermediary file formats, such as OBJ, Model XML, or P3D-XML, as well as intermediary import-export steps within Lucas's Pure 3D editor. And if you're willing to put up with all that, you'll also find that which intermediary file formats are used by which add-on, and for what purpose, is an arbitrary and confusing crapshoot. These major issues ultimately culminate in immense confusion and an extremely poor, clunky developer experience with workflows that make getting much of anything done a real pain in the ass. All that said, we are hard at work on the next generation of Blender tools for modding SHAR, simply dubbed SHAR Blender Tools. With this brand new Blender extension, we are aiming to create an all-in-one tool for all your 3D SHAR modding needs. That said, this project has two primary goals to address, which I will go into now. First off, the issue of compatibility. Within our tools, we typically aim to avoid breaking compatibility wherever possible. As this is a new project, not beholden to any previous design decisions, we currently have a lot of freedom in the design and the ability to make significant breaking changes if needed to make the tool better. That said, once this extension is released, we will aim to avoid breaking compatibility to the best of our ability and automatically migrate data if and when this is not possible to do. SBT currently targets Blender 5.1.1, but this will be bumped up to whatever the current version is at the time of its initial public release. After that, we will attempt to keep it up to date and compatible with future versions of Blender. Given, however, that Blender is external software that occasionally gets major version bumps and breaking changes alongside them, it may not be possible to maintain support for previously supported versions indefinitely. If, probably when, this comes up, we will bump the minimum Blender version for the extension. Of course, all old versions will remain available to download, and documentation for what versions each supports will be provided if needed. Next, the other major thing to address is, of course, the developer experience. SBT is built around importing and exporting Pure 3D files directly, no intermediary file formats required, and represents things in Blender using custom collections and objects. When possible, data and parameters are pulled from the built-in Blender properties, such as the location, rotation, and scale of various objects. When SHAR-specific data is needed, custom properties are used. All of this is then exposed in various custom panels to make configuring things as easy as possible. The creation of these SBT collections and objects is almost entirely managed through the central SHAR Blender Tools menu found at the top of the 3D view. Additionally, certain object types, such as SBT mesh objects, can be created by converting a plain object into an SBT object. Both the creation and configuration of objects are designed with one key principle in mind. When feasible, it should not be possible to create invalid data within your project. If this cannot be prevented, or if something goes wrong somehow, then errors should be clearly communicated and easy to spot. To facilitate this, there are many internal validation checks on collections and objects that are run each time a file is loaded, as well as when the data changes. If a collection or object fails validation, the error will then be shown in the central errors panel to make it easy to track down and resolve. This extension is very much a work in progress, and there are still many things found in SHAR it cannot create just yet. At this time, the current feature set is primarily focused on creating brand new maps, with support for cars, characters, and more planned for the future. That said, it is possible to create a fully functional map entirely within Blender and export it in one click to P3D files that the game can load. Absolutely no faffing about with intermediate files and the Pure 3D editor to get things in game. Here's a quick showcase of exporting my totally awesome and extremely detailed example map going from an empty art folder to working P3D files in less than a second. There is still a tremendous amount of work to do to enable creators to truly do whatever they want with SBT, and the initial public release, when it happens, which is to be determined, will likely be limited in capabilities. But we hope all this has at least conveyed our vision for the future of making SHAR stuff with Blender. We are truly aiming to empower the many creative people in this community to much more easily do what they do best, creating cool stuff.
Hi, this is Cliffstone from Donut Team, and I'll be showing you Cliffstone, a brand new map built with Lauren's SHAR Blender tools. Cliffstone is a racetrack with multiple circuits, dirt tracks, an oval ring, a demolition derby, and other locations designed to provide you with all manner of vehicular shenanigans in SHAR multiplayer. You can use Mission Select to load in additional barriers and props for each circuit, or simply explore and have fun at your own pace in free roam. And I'm sure there was another racing mode that I was working on at some point, but it can't be that important, probably. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Clifforus. We hope you like what you've seen and that you're excited for SHAR Blender tools and the awesome things people will create with it. Now back to Jake.
Thanks, Lauren and Clifforus, for all the explanation and demonstration you just gave. The work that is being put into SHAR Blender tools is something that we hope pays off in all the future mods being made in the community. As you can see from Cliffstone, you can already make full-fledged maps with the tool, and things are only to improve in the next few weeks and months. We really can't wait for this to come out, and we can't wait to see what you make with it. Next up, we want to talk to you about Linux support, a new rendering pipeline, and SHARMP server rendering. In the last few years, many people have switched over to using Linux instead of Windows. As a result of that, it's been more difficult for people to use some of the tools that we provide. We are now in the process of upgrading and porting these tools to work on Linux. How that will work is by upgrading these tools to use a modern version of .NET that you can install on Linux operating systems. First one we're working on is Lucas's Rad Music Script Builder. We've already run a proof of concept version that is working in Linux. However, we want to do upgrades to it before we release anything. We'll be sharing more in the coming weeks. We thought we'd give you a little behind the scenes of some of the technical work going into Lucas's mod launcher. In an upcoming update, the changelog probably won't tell you the whole story. That's because we're refactoring our inline rendering approach with a new pipeline we're calling SimpsonsGraphics. The short version, it lets us render to the HUD or into the world without having to re-implement rendering logic inside every single hack that needs it. Before this, every new feature that needed to draw something meant repeating ourselves and risking inconsistency. Now we have one well-tested foundation that everything else can build upon. Refactors like this are strange to talk about publicly. They take a long time and they don't become a wow moment in a changelog, and from the outside it can look like nothing is happening. But they make every future feature faster, cleaner, and more reliable to build. We wanted to mention it so you know that the quiet stretches often mean we're laying groundwork that pays off for years. We're also building a system that lets us render HUD elements dynamically, and we'll be integrating the system into SHARMP. Once it's complete, this is going to give server-side mods the ability to create game modes with a lot more freedom. You'll be able to communicate information to the player, such as custom timers, objectives, and whatever a mode needs, without relying on the chat system. This is going to be a game changer for what can be done with SHARMP, and we're really excited about it. We've laid the foundation for this within the client, however it may take a little more time before we ship this to our server software. We'll let you know as we get closer to release and give a demonstration when we're ready. Today we're proud to share the stage and give a guest spotlight to a longtime member of our community. They're one of the creators of The Long Long Night, and now they have a new course that turns the beloved 2003 game into a hands-on classroom for real coding and game design. Without further ado, please welcome Thomas.
Hello everybody, my name is Thomas Donofri, and I have been a member of the Donut Team community since 2014. Today, I'm excited to share a project that means a great deal to me. I am currently pursuing an associate degree in computer information systems with a specialization in programming, and expect to graduate in winter 2026. Through my academic achievements, I was honored to be selected as a recipient of the STEM Scholar Cohort Scholarship Program funded by the National Science Foundation, or NSF. This summer, I will be beginning a paid internship at my local library, where I will be teaching teens ages 12 to 17 how to create mission mods for The Simpsons Hit and Run. The goal of this program is to introduce students to the fundamentals of video game modding, including asset editing, scripting, level design, and game customization. Throughout this course, students will gain hands-on experience creating their own mods while learning valuable problem solving, debugging, and development skills. We will also discuss important topics such as intellectual property, community guidelines, and responsible modding practices. By the end of this program, Each student will design and present an original campaign mod that showcases both their creativity and technical abilities. Beyond teaching students how to modify a video game, this program will help them develop skills that extend far beyond modding itself. Participants will be introduced to concepts such as object-oriented programming, code reading, reverse engineering, project management, file organization, and game design principles. These are valuable skills that can serve as a foundation for future educational and career opportunities in technology. The support provided through the National Science Foundation allows me to dedicate the time and resources needed to develop lesson plans, organize workshops, and create a meaningful learning experience for these students. My hope is not only to introduce a new generation to the Donut Team community, but also to inspire young people to explore technology, creativity, and computer science. I am incredibly grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to sharing this journey with all of you.
We think this is incredible, seeing a community member take their passion for this game and use it to teach real coding and game design skills to the next generation. That's exactly the kind of thing that makes this community special. If you're in the area or know someone who might be interested, registration is required, so make sure you sign up before it fills up. We'll drop a link in the description. Thank you, Thomas, this is genuinely so cool. Piggyback off the next generation starting their modding adventures, we thought it would be a good time for us to talk about our personal and professional development over the last 13 years. Lauren and I founded Donut Team in 2013, and it's been a wild ride.
The first time I joined Donut Team, I joined for the mods and the memes, and to meet people that share an interest with me.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Giles. I've worked on Donut Mod since its infancy under its older Project Donut name, initially offering advice for adjustments to make the level 1 story missions, before eventually joining the team roughly a month or two later.
I don't view what we've done here as just a job, I view it as my potential evolving every single day.
I have slowly realized that the game and mods are not the only things I have in common with the people here.
While I've made some minor contributions to Donut Mod over the years in terms of audio sourcing and texture editing, and I am still very sorry for what I did to Frank's previous hover car, my primary efforts have been with mission script editing, which is the process of modifying Radical's mission loading and initialization scripts to modify existing stages and add new ones. The end result is an entirely new or radically different mission from what you might be familiar with.
Not only I am thankful for many of these people's direct and indirect teachings, but I also consider them my friends, the greatest of them.
It's definitely been one of the most exciting experiences of my life, because I've learned so much and I've been able to connect with so many different people.
I joined this team as an aspiring amateur programmer, and I have, with time, grown to the point I see myself a bit higher than that.
I like to think after working with this game for so long, I've picked up some experiences that I'll treasure and carry with me for the rest of my remaining years, and I do think there are a couple that I gathered.
Without Donut Team, I don't think I would have landed my current tech job, and I also wouldn't have met all the amazing people that have become some of my best friends.
Working with Hidden Run's missions and modifying them to offer new gameplay experiences has also created the challenge of offering narrative context for player actions, and has taught me the importance of in-game story.
There have been difficulties between our professional work, but we have always managed to move forward and overcome most of them. In short, Donut Team has taught me the meaning of team.
One last thing we want to mention before we go, just because we think it's neat, is how we recently revamped our handling of our support email with a custom support ticket system. Support tickets allow our team to respond to your emails in a much quicker and more organized manner than they could have previously. Before, only a few select people had access to managing our support email. Now, our team will be pinged and have the ability to discuss solutions amongst themselves and respond when they're ready. We've already had quite a few support tickets processed through the system, albeit most of them have been spam, and it has decreased our response time significantly. If you need anything, be sure to give us a holler. We hope you've enjoyed this extensive take of everything we're doing here at Donut Team. As always, we appreciate your support, whether that's just leaving a like, subscribing, or joining the community and interacting with us and giving us your feedback. Now here's the part of the video where we ask you to
Gimme money, gimme money, gimme money, gimme money, gimme money.
Thanks, Peter. If you'd like to help support ongoing costs related to the web services we run, such as Mod Bakery, that help support both the work we do and community efforts, please consider donating on our Ko-fi page. On that note, I'd like to thank the following people for their one-time donations: Thomas Hipperino Donofri, Bright Page, Mach 1 Supreme, Anonymous, Elat Ronian, Sparrow, for some reason, even though she's part of Donut Team. I'd also like to thank our one monthly donor, Mining, for their donations over the last 3 months.
Thank you to all our amazing Ko-fi supporters and to our entire community for supporting us for this long. As you can see, there's so much being worked on, and it's going to take some time before they fully come to realization. But we really hope that you stick around with us and you see what we make in the next few months. From everyone here at Donut Team, thank you for watching, and we can't wait to show you what's next.